Well, good morning, Knicks Nation. I hope, well, today is Thursday, the 17th of December, 2020. And I hope you are all well today. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're not hungry. I hope you're not in want of basics like food and shelter and clothing, and that all your basic needs are being met. And a double blessing upon all the people who are out here helping in the healthcare field, risking their lives to help people get better and get well so that people that are sick may live. Well, Knicks Nation, it's always a good morning when you wake up after a win, after a Knicks win, even if it is preseason. Now, if you recall, just yesterday, and not only yesterday, but earlier we have done videos where I said to you, the Knicks, what they have done in playing the game of chess, what they have done is they didn't overpay for free agents. They didn't overpay for old players, that old aged superstar past their prime, nor did they overpay for specialists that are shooters. They did not. But what they did instead is they brought in journeymen, Austin Rivers, Alec Burks, Elfrid Payton, on 1-year contracts. And the purpose of that was to push the youth to beat out these journeymen for minutes. I mean, if they drafted you in the lottery and you can't beat out a journeyman, then you're no better than the journeyman. And they hired Tom Thibodeau, a defensive genius and a taskmaster, to put his foot in these young people's behind so that they can get the most out of their talent. So that brings me to last night. What we saw last night, Knicks Nation, is the future. That's what we saw last night. We saw the future. Yes, we did. Okay. It was preseason, but it wasn't about the win. I'm going to tell you that straight up front. Let me just say a couple things up front. It wasn't about the win. The win make us feel good because it's the Knicks winning. The Knicks could win any game. If they win a game in Rucker Park, we're going to feel good, right? But to win a game in the Garden, that really makes us feel good. So, but it wasn't the win because it's preseason. It don't count. It was how they did it. It was how they did it. Let me start off by making this very clear because I don't want anybody to think, I don't want you to get it twisted. Manuel Quickly should be the starting point guard. Okay? I know Tom Tibbs don't like playing rookies, but this seems to me to be one of these seasons. I think really, as I'm looking at this, and if you especially looked at Thibodeau last night after the win, he's having fun. I mean, homie is having fun with this team. This is like, I'm near 60 years old. Right? I'm going to be 60 soon, right? So it's like an old man having a child in his old age. Like Abraham having Benjamin. You know a lot more than you did with your first one. And you gain all kind of life experience. And although you're old, you enjoy this one. You know what I'm saying? You enjoy it because you have experience. Like I'm enjoying my grandchildren. I got 2 grandchildren and I've been enjoying them from they were born. Now one of them's 15 and the other one's, 12, but I'm still enjoying them, because I raised mine and I learned from life experience and I can, I can appreciate them more. I think that's what Thibodeau is with this team. He's 62, been around a minute, right? Been around a minute. And I think he's learned from his past. And I'm not saying he's changing a lot, but he appreciates this youth. You can see that. He having fun with it. Every chance he gets, he talks about how great Obi Toppin is. And I have never heard him mention anybody on this team as being great. He said, man, you quickly, great. Okay? But man, you quickly should be the starting point guard. But let's back up a minute. See, a lot of y'all getting caught up on the point guard game. So I'm glad, hopefully this scratched that itch. Okay, you won't be talking about trading for a point guard. Okay, we're good. Okay, now, even though I think Emmanuel quickly is a starting point guard now, for Cade Cunningham is available. I ain't friend. Let's go get him. You know what I'm saying? But that just adds to our talent pool. That's all. But let's talk about the here and now. So what I noticed, I turned on the game in the second quarter. I told you I was going to do my Bible study first, and I did. Then I turned on the game. It was the second quarter, right? So the first thing I see out there, the Knicks are down. The lead stretched to like 15 to 18. But I'm watching Dennis Smith Jr. I'm watching Julius Randle. I'm watching Elfrid Payton. And I'm kind of, this is what the thing is. I've never accepted Elfrid Payton as a permanent point guard for us. I never did. Last year, I felt like he took away minutes from Frank. And this year, I'm feeling like, the youth need to be served, right? But I'm more understanding now because of Thibodeau. And I'm believing what Thibodeau said, unlike some of y'all, where he said, nobody's handed anything. People got to earn their minutes. So last night I was trying to talk myself into thinking, Elfrid must have earned the minutes and I'm going to just roll with him. I'm going to just, cheer on him because he's going to be the point guard, right? But I'm watching Dennis Smith Jr. Now, the stats, see, this is where y'all, NBA 2K stat mongers won't get it. I was very impressed with Dennis Smith Jr. last night. Very impressed. Did you see the steal he made in the backcourt? Y'all seen that, right? He made a steal in the backcourt. Like, they threw the ball in sloppily and, he stole it. On that play, what was demonstrated on that play was overall, we know he's improved on defense. We know he has. Okay. We know he has. He's putting forth the effort that we've never seen him. I've never seen him do this at North Carolina State, at Dallas, since he's been on that. Never seen him put it forth like that. But what really impressed me, what I've told y'all before, there's one thing to be athletic, to be able to do 48-inch vertical, to be able to do 360 dunks. That's cool. But that don't win basketball games. When you're athletic and you can turn that athleticism into a functional part of winning, now I'm excited. That's why and you saw Isaac Okoro last night. Boy, it's good, right? He's going to be really good. Because Isaac Okoro is extremely athletic, but he turns that into a functional manner on defense to win basketball games. Dennis Smith Jr. used his speed, his quickness, his athleticism on that play. You saw it all display. He quickly got back to the ball, quickly stole it, and laid it up. He used his athleticism in a functional manner defensively, and his lateral movement on the defense now. I love DSJ now. I mean, I didn't not like him before, but I really like him now. So I'm not saying he should be the starting point guard. I started off telling you, Emmanuel quickly should be the starting point guard. But, okay, Dennis Smith Jr. Now, I mean, let's be real with it. Those of us that's watching in Knicks Nation, Frank and Dennis Smith Jr. play very well together. And Frank and IQ, the few minutes they played together the night, they played very well together. So, and then it came out also that Nerlens Noel and Frank, none of these injuries are serious. That the coach just held them out, resting them. He don't want to overwork them before the season starts, which means he's planning on using both of these guys in his rotation, which we kind of already knew. Frank is the best perimeter defender we had, and you could see we were lacking perimeter defense last night for a good stretch. But we'll talk about that. But Dennis Smith Jr. though, now he just needs, he's putting it all together. Okay. So we know he could jump, but now he's got a jump shot. It's coming. I love the way that Jay looked last night. It looked improved. It really did. And then the defense. Now the IQ part, you got to put that together now on defensive and offensive end IQ part. He's learning though. He's learning and he's trying. That's what you want to see. You want to see a player put forth the effort to do what he needs to do, right? To get better. That's what Thibodeau's there for. Okay. And again, Dennis Smith Jr., one of them puppies that had to have their foot put in his behind to let him know this is what you got to do to get better. And he's doing it. I was questioning whether he was going to accept that before the season. I was questioning. I don't know if Dennis Smith Jr. is going to accept that kind of rough coaching, but he has, and it's showing. So I'm very excited about Dennis Smith Jr. And as I also did a video, y'all remember, he could be that attack dog coming off the bench. Imagine him and Frank. Man. Okay. Let me not get too excited. Okay. So that's DSJ. Even though we was down 15 and he did make some mistakes. Nah, man. I saw it. I said, this boy's game is rounded in the shape. Give him about, I say 25 games of consistent off the bench playing time like he's getting right now. I don't know how many minutes did he play last night, but but give him that, 15, 20. I think he played 15 minutes last night. So I would give him like a 20-minute role. Okay. Every night and let that be his role. Okay. And you will see his game, blossom. You will see his game blossom. Now, let me looking at this now. So, that's DSJ. And that was when we were still down 18. I was smiling because I knew we was down 18, but I'm looking for the youth. Okay. And remember now, I told y'all Tibbs had said Sunday, I should have gave Emmanuel Quickly some more minutes. He only got 9 minutes, blah, blah, blah. So we were expecting Quickly to get more minutes last night. And of course, Mr. Quickly did get more minutes last night, but I'm not going to get to him yet. I'm going to save him for last. Next, we talking about Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson played 31, almost 32 minutes yesterday. And that's the key. See, Mitchell Robinson ended up with 10 rebounds. He ended up with 13 points, 10 rebounds. Okay. Let me get this out of my way. He ended up with 13 points, 10 rebounds. He had 5 fouls, but that's fine. 4 blocked shots. And I don't know how many others he altered. Now, the thing about the 5 fouls, remember, he started next to Julius Randle yesterday. We'll talk about him in a second. So he's going to get a foul because Julius, loses his man. But the fouls he got none of those fouls was him jumping too soon like you saw against Blake Griffin the other night. No. His fouls was protecting the rim, being aggressive, protecting the rim in the paint, which is what you want. And he had 4 blocks. And this wasn't, and what I saw from Mitch, that wasn't even scratching the surface of what he could do. Okay. That's what excited me. He was playing a decent game for his talent level. It's a decent game. Because this kid's got it in him. He's special. I've been saying that from when they drafted him. And now y'all talking about trade Mitch and all this stupidness. This kid is special. And what we saw last night was not even scratching the surface of what he can become. And I know Thibodeau knows that. Okay. That's what excited me too. Thibodeau appreciates that and knows it. So he played 32 minutes and he was a game changer. Okay. He really was. 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. That's the thing as a team. 80% from the line the Knicks were yesterday. That's what you want to see. Okay. 13 turnovers. Okay. Now that's not great, but it's down from 23 they were averaging. 13 turnovers. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. We were looking for some improvement. They were down 10. I'm expecting them to get under 10 turnovers going forward as a regular thing during the season. They should not average more than 10 turnovers a game. I'm looking for them to average like 8 turnovers a game. Okay. 18 points on fast breaks. See, 18. Now, the team that leads the league, like the Lakers, the Toronto Raptors, they average 18. Knicks hit that last night. 28 assists. Now, to me, in my mind, the magic number for an elite assist team that shares the basketball is 30. Okay. When you get 30 assists, that means you're sharing the ball. Okay. That means the ball is moving. So they had 28, which is very good. Very good. But I think they'll get better at that. We need to get to that 30 mark on a regular basis. Okay. They had 11 assists, I think Sunday, and 8 or something like that. Yeah, that's no good. But last night the ball was moving. So again, we were looking at ball movement. Looking at improved defense, we saw that. We were looking at reduced turnovers, we saw that. We were looking at better foul shooting, we saw that. Okay. Mitchell Robinson was in the middle of all that too. So that was excellent. Then Julius Randle. So when I turned on the TV, it was the second quarter. We're watching Julius Randle. Now I was actually a little pleasantly surprised at Julius's increased effort on the defensive end. I ain't going front. He's still a terrible defender, but he's trying much better. He was. But of course, there was that stupid spin cycle move into the double team for a turnover. Okay. He didn't do a lot of it, but even once is too much. Okay. Not only that, on the improvement side, I didn't see him dribbling the ball up a lot. He was handing it off to a guard. Okay. And that's good. He was handing it off to a guard and letting either Peyton or DSJ, somebody bring it up aside from him. Smart. Okay. I like that too. So there was improvements. And even one time he picked somebody's pocket. Did you see that? He picked somebody's pocket at midcourt. I was like, is that Julius Randle? But overall, I have to say, I still believe he's not a good fit with this team. And anybody talking about him and Obi playing together, forget about it. Forget about it. It's not going to work. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm watching them and it looks like the same old Knicks, just with Mitchell Robinson starting, right? And of course, the Cavs were playing zone. And if you notice what they were doing, they were trying to force the ball to Elfrid Payton. Elfrid was 2 of 12. 2 of 12. 1 for 2 from the line. 50%. And he shot 17% from the field. 2 of 12. Okay. 0 for 4 from 3-point. They were letting him shoot. They were daring him to shoot. Matter of fact, they would set it up so that he would be the one taking the shot. I mean, Frank shots 32% from the field, from 3. Okay. And 50% from the corner 3. Elfrid shoots 50-something% from the line, y'all. Come on. And I was trying to convince myself, okay, let's get this guy, he'll be the point guard. Mr. Quickly changed all that last night. Then there was my boy, Kevin Knox. Now, Kevin Knox is a rhythm player. What do I mean by a rhythm player? I knew a guy when I was in high school. I didn't even know that this was in him. I mean, I knew he could play a little bit. I mean, he was pretty good in high school. But I had a coach that was very similar, which is why I appreciate Tibbs a lot. I had a coach that was almost exactly like, he was a combination of Thibodeau and UB Brown, my high school coach. And when we was on the junior varsity, before we went to the varsity, we was on junior varsity. Before we was on the junior varsity one day, he looked at my man, he said, I'm going to run you to death today. You're going to play till your tongue hangs out. And I was like, why he decide that? I mean, I didn't see anything different in practice. He saw something though. In that game, my boy put up 26 and 13. And we won the game. He put up 26 and 13. He played him the whole game. Didn't set him out. And my boy was tired. And I realized that the more sweat he built up on him, the better he got. Like as the game went on, he got better. At first, he would start the game off walking or turning the ball over or doing something stupid. But once he got that lather going and he was in the flow, he was good, man. He was starting. And the longer he played, the better he got. That is Kevin Knox. Once he started getting in the flow. And the thing is that now I know y'all want to give Emmanuel Quickly all the credit. He's a point guard and that's all Kevin needed was a point guard. Stop it. I'm just going to tell y'all, stop it. The Knicks are a defensive team now under Tom Thibodeau. And what you want to see with a defensive team and what I saw, like when they were down 18, what sparks a team like that to come back is stops. Okay. And my formula that I always look at, which worked last night, is I want to see them get 3 stops in a row. If they can see last year's Knicks, this is where we would lose a game. They would get 2 stops or get 1 stop and not get them third ones. The Knicks, they were down 18 when they brought Emmanuel Quickly in the game. They got 3 stops in a row. Actually, they had DSJ in the game first. They got 3 stops in a row. They got it down from 18. All of a sudden it was 14 or 15. Then Cleveland scored a 3. Then they got another 3 stops in a row and got it down to 12. Then they got another 3 stops in a row. Cleveland scored again. Then they got another 3 stops in a row. Got it down to under 10. Then Cleveland scored again, and then the Knicks went and stopped them 4 times in a row. And that's when the roll was on. That's when Kevin was flowing. At that point, Kevin was flowing. And I stopped counting after that because I knew they was coming back. Okay? On a defensive team, that's what gets the spark going. Even if they're a bad shooting team, getting a number of stops in a row is what gets you going. Okay? And so that's what they did. They did it after the 3rd or 4th time they did it. I stopped counting because I was like, okay, they're rolling now. Okay, they rolling. And Kevin was rolling. See, the shots Kevin was taking last night were good shots, just like he took good shots Sunday. He didn't take good shots on opening night. On the preseason opener. But he took good shots Sunday night. He was just missing them. He wasn't in the flow. He wasn't lathered up. He was active on the defensive end, like all the Knicks were on the floor. And then that helped him offensively. Okay, so now they're in the flow. And so when he catches the ball and he's got an open look for a 3, all right, now he's ready to hit it. Okay, and that's what he was doing. Kevin ended up with 16 points last night. He ended up going 3 of 5 from 3. He shot 63% from the field. 2 assists, 4 rebounds. We saw a glimpse of the future with Kevin Knox. A glimpse. Okay. And Thibodeau said he's been putting together good practices and he needs to put together a string of them, more of them, and he'll be better. And that's what we're seeing now. Okay. I want to see him get consistent. He got 22 minutes last night. I want more of that. I want more Kevin Knox. Give me more, because the more he gets in the flow, the better he's going to be. Right now with Kevin, it's only 2 things. It's confidence and minutes. That's all he needs. Confidence and minutes. And one thing I want to tell you, the youth beating out the Journeymen. That's what you saw last night. Even though Burks didn't play, even though Austin Rivers didn't play, don't matter. Don't matter. The youth are now ahead of them. Okay? Kevin Knox is working his way past whoever's in front of him. Okay? And so is Emmanuel Quickly. And so is Mitchell Robinson. Okay? Of course, RJ's already there. Okay? So that's what's going on. They're working their way ahead of Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock was 1 of 6 from the 3-point line last night. They were letting him shoot. They were letting him shoot threes. And he was missing. Okay? But that's all good. When we start getting stops, it doesn't matter. You could shoot terribly. If you get 3 stops in a row, let's say you shoot 33%. You get 3 stops in a row. You're stopping the rhythm of the other team and you're going to score one of those 3. Okay? You're going to score one. All right? If you're shooting 33%. Okay? And then the more of those 3 stops in a row you get, the more you're going to start shooting better. That's the way it happens with defensive teams. Okay? So the key is getting stops. Then there was Obi. Obi only had 8 points. He had 7 rebounds, but he played 31 minutes also. And he also had a dynamic game. The thing about IQ is that he plays with IQ. Okay? And he had 7 assists last night. He shot the ball terribly. If you look at how he was shooting, all y'all want the point guard to shoot. He was 3 of 11. He shot the ball terribly. 1 of 6 from 3. But it was his command of the game. It was his IQ and of course his defense. That's what I think is going to get him on the floor for the starting lineup. Now, it may not happen opening night. I hope it does. The sooner the better, because these kids are now, they had to prove they're better than the Journeymen. They proved it last night. They did. They put it all together. Okay. And so that's why notice if you watch the press conference now, Thibodeau said, tomorrow, which is today, is a critical practice. Why would he say that in preseason about a Friday game? He said they played really good. We got to look at the film. I know we've seen a lot of good stuff, but we got to he said tomorrow's a critical practice. Sounds to me he's going to make some changes. And it's going to involve getting some of these youth on the floor. Okay? Because he likes Emmanuel Quickly. And listen, all y'all listen, I know we didn't get Malachi Flynn. We didn't get Tyrese Maxey. We didn't get Desmond Bain. We got Emmanuel Quickly, y'all. And I'm very happy with that. This boy could play. And he did splash one. I think he splashed 1 3-pointer. Yeah, he splashed 1 3-pointer. Let me tell you something. He didn't shoot the ball good last night. But his command of the game, his IQ, and not only that, he's going to have a breakout game. Last night he got 24 minutes, which is like I said, Josh Okogie got 24 minutes a game under Thibodeau as the most as a rookie that I've seen in his 8 years. I think we want to, if we start this kid, we got to give him 30 minutes. So you get him 30 minutes, he's going to have a game. It's going to come. He's going to have a game where he shoots and hits like 7 3-pointers. It's going to happen. And then he's going to get like 30 points. That's going to happen. Okay. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. Okay. So the sooner the better. I want to see him starting Friday. I don't want to play around with Peyton anymore. He done beat out the Journeymen. Okay. He beat him up. Okay. So I want to see quickly. I want to see DSJ and Frank come behind quickly, or have Frank and quickly, whatever. But I want to see quickly out there. Okay. It's getting his minutes. So, that's that one. Okay. Now, who else? Kevin Knox, Emmanuel Quickly, Dennis Smith Jr., Obi played very well. Defensively, he was much better. Of course, him and Quickly did some bonehead rookie plays. Like, Obi went into the backcourt to get the ball on an out of bounds play. You can do that after a timeout if you get the ball inside, but not like that. He knew it after. And Thibodeau was not happy. That's why he's after you. I love Obi. You had to let him know that. But, and then Quickly did some rookie bonehead plays as well. But it's just overall, I think we could live with that. To play these kids, we could live with that, man. So, that 5 was IQ, RJ, Mitchell. It was Kevin Knox. It was IQ, Kevin Knox, RJ, Mitchell Robinson, and who else was out there? I forgot who else was out there with them. It was IQ, Kevin Knox, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, and RJ. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, we need to see more of that. And then bringing in DSJ and Frank off the bench. We need to see more of that. I want to see more of that. Okay. I want them to run like that. Whatever order, I want them to run like that. Okay. These kids are now showing they're outplaying the veterans. Now we're in third preseason game. Okay. And that's what's exciting about it, because we just started. They didn't even have IQ and Obi didn't even have a summer league, and they have they got no summer league and a shortened, training camp. They don't have a regular training camp, and they're already outplaying these journeymen. Okay. I'm trying to tell y'all, play these kids. It's time. It's time now. And that's why I'm thinking slowly Tibbs is probably going to put them in line. I don't know if he'll do it all at once, but he's going to do it slowly. But I'm going to tell you something. By the time we get to game 20 of this season, probably before that, you're going to see them all out there, because if they continue doing this and they're getting better, I hate to say it cliche, but every single day they're getting better. They're working hard. They're listening to the coach. They're bought in. Okay. Every single day. And, you're going to see that continue. So yeah, the journeyman we don't need now. Well, the journeyman represented like training wheels. When you have your kid learning how to ride a bike, sometimes you put them on training wheels. The journeyman are the train wheels. You can take the train wheels off now. I mean, let them play. If they're going to fall, let them fall. But it's time. It's time now. So RJ was RJ, 6 of 12. He didn't shoot well from three, but he shot excellent from the line. He was 3 of 3 from the line. He had 16 points, 6 rebounds, very well balanced. Everything was well balanced. He played with IQ. He played the defensive end. I did my heart well. But those stops, man, they got 3 stops in a row several times, and then they went and got 4 in a row a couple of times. I knew that Cleveland team was over. Now, it wasn't the regular Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, Kevin Love was missing, but what else isn't? That dude's always hurt. So he was missing Kevin Love as a starter. They were missing Kevin Porter Jr. as a starter. They were missing Colin Sexton. Okay, so they had Garland out there. They had Akura out there, and I think those are going to be their starters. And they had the center. What's the boy's name? The center from UConn. Drummond. They had Drummond out there. Drummond and Okoro are probably going to continue starting. And then you have Darius Garland. They're probably going to start Sexton, Garland, Drummond, Okoro, and if Kevin Love is not hurt, Kevin Love. And they're probably going to have Porter Jr. come off the bench. Yeah, probably going to have him come off the bench. But, so they didn't have, but what they did have, even though they didn't have those guys, they had this guy, Dylan Windler, and some other cat. These guys were shooting the lights out from 3. Dean Wade and Matt Mooney and Dylan Windler. They were shooting the lights out from 3, man. They were going off from 3 last night. Okay. Even Isaac Okoro was 2 out of 3 from 3. So that, our perimeter defense has got to improve. That's where Frank comes in. Okay, that's what I'm saying to y'all. You put Frank out there with quickly, and you're gonna get some perimeter defense. Okay, because it was horrible. The perimeter D was bad, and the Knicks only gave up 93 points. Right now, they're averaging 92 points a game, giving up 92 and scoring 94. It's getting a little better. See, I'm expecting that to continue. Like I said, if they're in that range, that low 90s range defensively, that's a top 10 defense right there. That's a top 10 defense. Like I told y'all, I'm expecting to be 10 to 13. That's a top 10 defense, though, if they continue that during the course of the season. And I expect them to do that. Okay, I don't care who they playing. They're not going to be giving up a whole bunch of points. It's not going to happen. Okay, so especially when you got a Mitchell Robinson and a Nerlens Noel at your 5 spots. Okay, both of those are starting caliber 5s, athletic 5, paint protecting 5s. So yeah, nah, we ain't having it this year. I'm really okay, but we have to do something with our boy Julius Randle. We've been saying that. I'm not the only one saying it. I know y'all, a lot of people out there saying it. We need to do something with Julius. We need to make a trade. He's just, and I keep saying that. It's not that Julius is a bad player. He just doesn't fit with what we're trying to do. He doesn't fit with the way we're trying to play. He's not a number 1 option. See? And he still thinks he is. That's the problem. He still thinks he is. So, yeah, we have to do something with Julius, which I believe they're going to do by the trade deadline. I really do. Especially if they start, he's not going to be happy. If that 5 that started, that caused us to come back and win last night starts at some point, Julius Randle is going to make it known he's not happy. So I think they're going to end up moving him anyway, because that's really what they should do. Like I said, you need to start Mitchell Robinson at the 5. You need to start Kevin Knox at the 3. You need to start Obi Toppin at the 4. You need to start RJ at the 2, and you need to start quickly at the 1. Or if you want to have Kevin come off the bench, you bring RJ down to the 3 and you put Frank in at the 2. But those are you guys you need to be playing. Or you have Frank and DSJ paired coming off the bench together. That's how you got to do this. Okay. This is the future. And in many respects, the future's now, right? The future's now. Cause we want to see what our guys got. Cause we're getting ready to come up on a big draft. 2021 is a big draft for us. And let's put it this way. Let's say Emmanuel quickly becomes, this year's Donovan Mitchell. Let's just say. Let's say Obi Toppin, the rookie of the year, right? So now you're going into the draft. Who you want? You could get Cade Cunningham, or you can get Jalen Green, right? You can get one of those guys. I don't even know. I don't even know who I would choose, because we would have a developed youth, and now we're bringing in more talent. Ooh, man, I'm excited. So let's, I'm pulling for our youth to continue. Alec Burks, Michael Kidd Gilchrist, Elfrid Payton, Nerlens Noel, Austin Rivers. They're getting their spots taken because the youth is ready. Let me know what y'all think. Shalom.